Hello, my loves. Impromptu energy update, live contemplation. I'm Johanna Burkhardt. I am a multidimensional channel teacher and healer, and I'm here to help you go from where you are to where you want to be. While we're waiting for people to get on, I am just going to share this quickly into my group. So when you're hopping on, say hello. Let me know that you're here while I share this real quick, if I can share it. If not, I'm going to have, I should have told my team that I was going live so they could have shared it, but I did not. So let's take care of that real quick. Okay. Yay! Hello, hello, hello. So I want to do a mini energy update, and I know I want to have some live contemplation. Hi, Corey. There she is. Thank you. I already shared it into the group. I forgot to tell you I was going live before I did. I woke up this morning. You know, we just went through this new moon in Capricorn, and I don't want to bring too much astrology into it because the astrology works as guideposts, right? They go into certain positions, and as someone who is connected to the planets, I'm connected to the planets in a way that is hard for me to describe to people. I'm not an astrologer. I did not study astrology. I just connect with the planets. They are sentient beings. And I have this way of understanding and connecting. So when we go through portals, when we go through galactic activations, when there's huge astrological events, I understand it at an energetic level. I understand it in a way that, I don't know, that maybe most people don't. But what they are, they're kind of guideposts where they're like the orange cones, right? And traffic touring the energy. It's moving the energy to where it needs to be so that we receive exactly what we need to see. So we have the light coming in, the photonic light that is needed to shine on what needs to be seen, right? So in a way it works as our dimmer switch. We get comfortable in a situation, and that dimmer, we go and adjust that dimmer switch, right? The astrology does that for us, and it allows us to see what we didn't know that was there before. Same like an activation, right? You guys know I do DNA activation and restructuring. When I'm activating, what I'm doing is I'm taking my energy, my light that's powerful, and I'm shining it inside of you. And I'm telling you, and I'm showing you, and I'm bringing your awareness to this is where something lives inside of you. Okay. So we're in this powerful conjunction, right? The moon is conjunct with Pluto. Pluto is the BS detector. It's the great transformer. It is the very thing. It's the table flipping energy, right? To the things that we need to transform the most in our life. This is still very raw. I have a whole bunch of downloads that have come in. I've been writing them all out, and it's very raw. So just kind of follow me, stay with me, receive it into your heart. So we also have Mars and Saturn coming in. We also have Uranus. And remember, Uranus and Saturn are like the father-son relationship where it's like, these are the rules. And the sun's like, F your rules, right? I'm going to go do my own thing. So we have all of this really strong, potent energy that's planting the seeds of new Earth is being birthed, right? And I told you guys on the full moon in Cancer in December that we were literally birthing the new Earth. But what happens is remember the event or the great activation, right? That is the awakening point, right? That's going to play out. And that was going to happen over a month's time. And it wasn't just a one-time event that a lot of people thought it was because of the Great Conjunction. It really started in the middle of December when we went into a new part of space, right? We had a new galactic spin, and we went into a completely different sector of space that was able to bring forth light that we've never experienced before ever, right? As in this now moment. So with that, right, with this new moon, it's like the manifestation of it. It's like, here she comes. It's the literal birth. And a lot of people are actually experiencing birthing pains. And I'm one of those people. And that's just how my body shows up for the collective. And if anybody is into gene keys. If you have gene key 32, look at where it is in your chart, because you're going to notice the pain in your body might correlate with that. So anyway, not to bring too much quantum verbiage into this mix. This morning we had the new moon peaked at 9 p.m. Eastern time last night. This morning I woke up and I was extremely tired, which is pretty common for me. My new moons are the ones that affect me the most. So that was pretty common. But what I noticed is there was a lot of confusion. And I don't mean like I was confused in my mind, and there was moments of that, but there was confusion. And I've been tapping into it today in a way that I don't normally do. So normally I go and sit and I meditate. I get downloads all day long, but when I really want clarity, I'll meditate and I will just kind of go into the quantum field, the void, and just let it all play out the way that it needs to so that I can see it multidimensionally. But this is coming in through a different way. And it's as if we are being scrambled right now, and not in a bad way. And I know that would normally be. So it's like scrambling the connection. I even noticed that my Wi-Fi and my stuff on my laptop and on my phone are all running a little bit slow today. I feel like there's this massive scrambling that's happening in the energy. And the scrambling is on two folds that I'm feeling. So one is there is assistance coming in to scramble things. And the reason why is because on this fold is I know a lot of you who are into alternative news. I know a lot of you that are like waiting and chomping at the bit for new information to come in as to what's happening with the election, what's happening with the world, what's happening with other things that are going on. And it's been kind of radio silent, right? Why? I want you guys to use, this is when you're going to use your critical thinking, and you're going to say, why is it been radio silent? Because if you're connecting with people in the alternative news industry, okay, and I need to say this as well, and this is not to put fear in, but be very mindful where you're getting your alternative news because of this confusion. Now, this confusion is something that I predicted in the January 2021 update. I said there was going to be some confusion, right? They're going to put, and even in December, they're going to put truth out there, but then they're going to put falsities because they want to confuse you. That's the goal. So there's that aspect, but the other aspect is if the people in alternative news who are connected to true sources of human interaction, right, not channeled information, this is people who have knowings about what's physically happening in a tangible reality. If they know, what makes you think that the opposing party or the evil or the dark or whatever you want to label it as doesn't know that too? So there kind of needed to be this period where we go through a scrambling, where nobody kind of knows what's happening. And that's done on purpose. And the reason why this is happening on purpose, and it's assistance, right? I'm getting the thumbs up from my team. So there's assistance being given to scramble because there's been a lot of mind control going on, And they can tap in. They know. They're in tune with the technology that's available on the planet that most human beings don't even realize is here, that the US, that the government, CIA, all those people have already known that all this technology exists. And we're talking about the supernatural technologies that people like me use, like telepathy, right? So those things they've already been using them for a very long time. So by us getting assistance with scrambling, one, they're not locked in on our mind control right now. Two, information is not being put out there for them to take. So they're going to be blindsided. There's a lot going on, what I'm showing behind the scenes right now, that we won't know until after it's been done, after it's played out. Okay. So if you're one of those people that's been on the cusp of watching alternative news, wanting to know what's happening, recognize that is your fear of uncertainty. Recognize that is your fear of not knowing what's coming. Recognize that that's you trying to empower yourself when you're in a state of disempowerment, because if you know what's coming, you can prepare, okay? So recognize that all that is a defense mechanism, and allow yourself to use your tools, right? Especially if you've been if you're in Reclamation right now, my course that I'm currently running, or Unity, use those tools to help you come back to this moment and reaffirm that you are in fact safe, that this is an illusion that's playing out for you, so that you will face what you need to face, which is fear itself. So as I was kind of tuning into all of this, I was drawn to some text, and then I just started receiving all of these things. And so you guys all know that last year in 2000, I don't even know when it was. 2019, I started connecting to a collective known as the Ancients, right? It's a collective that I'm a part of. And the Ancients are the OGs of the earth, right? They're the first. They make up properties. It is the frequency of earth. The Rock and Tree Collective, right, is a major part of that. So the Ancients started coming in, and the Ancients view failure. This is really important where I'm going with this. The Ancients only see failure as isolation. Hear that. Hear that. They only see failure as isolation. Okay? Success is no longer determined by success or failure. It's about doing what is beneficial for me, for you, for us. It means that everything I do benefits me, benefits you, and benefits humanity. The people that we are, the energy, I'm going to take away the word people, the energy that we are fighting against, or that we are in revolution with, that energy wants to isolate us, right? So this is why we had to have COVID come in, which I didn't mean to say that, but oh well. We didn't, this is why the C word was created, because they needed something to feed our fears. They needed something to feed our fears. And so they said, you need to be 6 feet apart. Why? Our auric field has a circumference of 6 feet. You need to be in your home. You need to be isolated. You need to be away from people. Why? Because when we are a unit, when we come together, we're stronger. That's science. I mean, that's common sense at this point, right? When you come together with a like-minded mission, the big picture, we are stronger. Our energy is more potent. It is more powerful. They are less likely to be able to control our minds because we are surrounding ourselves with people who are nourishing us, that we are nourishing them, that we're working together, right? We rise together. Everything we do benefits each other. We have the best interest of each other in mind. But when you're isolated, you are alone with your thoughts. And if you are not in control of your thoughts, then your thoughts control you. If you have fears that are continuously coming up, then you're going to be controlled by your fears. And that's exactly what they want. So, isolation, segregation. Have you noticed if you are someone who is African American, right? Forget about any other nationality, right? If you are a different color, if you are brown or black, you're seeing segregation being reintroduced. It's been happening ever since Republicans freed slavery. They have been trying to reintroduce segregation. BET, right? National Black Universities, right? You have a whole month where we celebrate the race. And I am the least racist person in the world. But what I'm going to tell you is it's all about them controlling the narrative. And that narrative lives in your brain. It lives in your mind. So segregation is coming back, right? Isolation because of a pandemic. Because when you're isolated, you are vulnerable. Your mind is vulnerable. It can be controlled. When we're together, we are stronger. We are more supported. So really, the only sense of true failure is when we listen to the people who are isolating us and we choose to isolate. Because when we isolate, we have failed as a humanity. But when we choose to say, no, What you are asking me to do is not in my best interest. It's not in Crystal's best interest. It's not in Janie's best interest. It's not in George's best interest. It's not in the world's best interest. I'm not going to do it. Especially against something that has a 98.8 or something crazy survival rate. More people die of the flu. So this is a great awakening because it's saying, wake up, your fears are controlling you. So how do we fix this? This is an individual journey, and it's all about your reaction. So as you are sitting with your fears, and let me tell you, let me be crystal clear right now. You think you've been afraid now. You have nothing to what's coming. And I don't say that to scare you. I say that to say it's time to face your fears. It is time to reclaim your sovereignty. It is time to demonstrate differently. It is time for us to come together and say no. We are the people. We are in charge. We have the power. We know what's in the best interest of each other. And it isn't by listening to a select elite few with a corruption rate of 85% out of 100. So the only way we as humanity wins, and we do win, by the way, love wins, but we get there faster when we stop reacting to their bullshit. When we look at the fact that we are triggered and in fear because we don't know what's about to happen next, and we decide to say, I'm going to make peace with death, because what does that mean? If I die, it means I change form and I go back to the most amazing, beautiful place that ever is. We're not afraid of dying. We're afraid of living. This is the time, you guys. Anytime you find yourself triggered in doubt, in fear, in restriction, wondering, worrying, what's going to happen next? Will I be prepared? Am I going to be okay? Do I need to stockpile? Do I need to do all these things? Stop yourself. Use your tools. And if you don't know how to not react, if you don't know how to respond, if you don't know how to get your nervous system in check, then I highly suggest enrolling in Unity and Reclamation of my courses and getting a crash course in it, because I give the 4 frequencies that literally neutralize your nervous system, that literally bring you back to this present moment and say, no, I got this. So while you're out there seeking for information, what you should be doing is going inward and seeking the truth that only your heart can give you. And that wisdom that lives deep inside of you at the bottom of your well. This body is your well. Your auric field is your Akashic record. You alone hold the key to everything you could ever imagine and desire, want, seek, knowledge. It's all in there. But it's going to take you being patient and present and learning how to tell this is not true, this is true. It's the discernment between the two, and discerning that you are in a state of fight or flight, and discerning that now this is my opportunity to face my fear and make peace with that fear. It doesn't mean you won't feel fear anymore. It means fear is your friend. It means that you will no longer react to it. You will respond to it. There will be a gap between when the shit hits the fan and when you step in diligently and be like, okay, it's happening for me. It's happening for me. Where is this taking me? What is this opening up for me? Case in point today, my body's been in pain, right? With all the energy, my physical body will feel it. I'm upgrading. I'm going to a whole nother frequency. And every time you upgrade, you have to reestablish a new set of boundaries. And those boundaries are who you are. It's your structure. So as I'm in between of creating a new structure, the world's ripped off its masks and everybody is vulnerable. We are all stark naked. All of our wounds are showing up on our body. We all know the fear is real. We all know that everything's about to be flipped. We're all feeling that sensitivity. We're all feeling that vulnerability. But if we continue to do as they say and not as they do, if we continue to isolate, if we continue to wear the masks, if we continue to do all the things that they're telling us to do, they are still controlling you. Now, if it feels aligned to you to separate, and if it feels aligned to you to wear a mask, do it. I'm not telling you that I'm right and you're wrong. Your truth is your truth. But do it, whatever you do, because it inside of you, in your heart, in your body, you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Don't do it because someone told you to do it. So the key to unlocking your safety within your being is to not react to the fear that your mind is feeding, because they have been connected to your mind through your music, through your television, through social media, through other people, through the school system, through your employers. If we go back in history, you'll see in the 1800s, they created traditional school for a purpose, to program people from this time to come in, to sit down, to do as you're told, and to leave, and whatever. They were programming you. We have been going through this for centuries, programming us to behave certain ways. This is why the fear is so deep that all these light workers who've been coming to me, I've been getting a lot of coaches and teachers lately in private mentorship who, they should know this, right? They're like, why is this coming up? Why I thought that I healed this. Honey, we are reaching the bottom of the well for some people. We are getting into programming that has been so deep. It goes back through many, many ancestors. We're going past as far back as you can think. So if you are feeling any of this, let me know if this resonates. We have to learn what is worthy of our energy, what is worthy of our time and our energy. And the only thing that is worthy of our time and energy is things that help us evolve, things that bring us joy, things that light our soul, that bring us peace. And a lot of times, in order to get to that energy, to get to that freedom we all seek, we have to face some big things. So think about it. What is your core wound? Is it rejection? Is it denial? Is it separation? Do you think that nothing has anything to do with you? Have you been denied, or do you deny? Have you been rejected, or do you reject? Have you been abandoned, or do you abandon? All of that is all the same with a different context. That's it, a different lens, a different way of it happening. But at the end of the day, it's all ostracizing. It's all isolation. So I hope that you guys you're following me and you're able to hear what I'm telling you right now. If you want to speed this up, if we want to be the change, then get off of this live, face your fears head on. And at the end of the day, that fear is going to be isolation. It's going to be death. Face it, make peace with it. And the next time you're triggered with something that invokes fear of any kind, which is worry, which is uncertainty, unknown, face it. Because the only place you can make any change is in the present now moment. right? You can look back at hindsight and try to make changes moving forward. But even then, when you come to that crossroads, when that trigger appears, when that scenario unfolds, when the emergency broadcast system starts playing and you start being told all the things that you feared were true, but now you know are true, your nervous system is going to blow out. It is going to be like, oh shit. That is your opportunity in that moment to say, nope, come back. I am safe. I get to choose. This is what they want me to buy into. They're betting on the fact that I buy into this fear, that I feed this fear, because it makes me weak. It makes my immune system weak. Did you know that? Did you know that fear makes your immune system weak? So they want to weaken you. And people are talking about censorship. Well, they isolated us physically. So what did we do? We came together digitally. And they said, oh no, we can't have that now. We can't have people coming together online. We have to stop that. So what did they do? They stopped running stories on Facebook. They started censoring. Do you see? We have the power. They really fear us. They really fear us remembering. Because when we remember that we are God, when we remember that we hold the power, they're really screwed. You feel me? So this is what I came on here to tell you. So whatever you're feeling internally inside, it's time for you to sit down and to face it. Because otherwise, what we're about to go into is going to be a really rough ride. I've been telling you guys this for 2 years now. It's not too late. It's never too late. And you're always going to experience whatever you need to experience to remember your power, to remember who you are. So I love you guys. Please share this message because it's a powerful one. And remember, I got you. Love wins. They lose. But we can make this happen faster when we choose. You understand? So I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.